Hey everyone, hold on. Much better. Welcome back to CrashLove Gaming. When I started this channel 4 years ago, Pokemon was celebrating its 20th anniversary and I dedicated a whole month to Pokemon related videos. If you think my videos are bad now, go back and watch that review of Pokemon Puzzle League. It was my first review ever and really terrible. I don't recommend it. Anyway, I'm not making a whole month out of it, but I did want to keep the spirit of Pokemon alive. I originally planned on making a review of Hey You Pikachu, but that game is hella boring. But there are quite a few Pokemon spin-off games out there, so let's take a look at a couple of them. How do I even describe Pokemon Snap? Technically, it's an on-rail shooter, but instead of killing things with guns, you're taking pictures of them with a camera. Okay, is that it? Why is this game rated so highly? Well, it was the first time we got to see Pokemon in super realistic 3D. Maybe not realistic, but they sure were in 3D. Before Snap, all we had were these awful Game Boy sprites. We didn't even have the retooled anime-based sprites of Yellow. I mean, I guess we're lucky we didn't get the ones from Green. So the goal of Pokemon Snap is to take the best pictures you can of each of the 63 Gen 1 Pokemon in the game. You play as Todd Snap and ride through 7 courses just taking pictures. Professor Oak,
Hello there,
is the only other character you'll interact with. He upgrades your gear, gives you items, and judges your photos. It sounds pretty simple, but on your first run through the first stage, you'll notice a few things are a bit off. Like, what's up with this Snorlax? It's clearly a Snorlax, but Oak won't accept the picture. I mean, sure, he's nude and lying on his back, but this is a tasteful shot of his giant taint. As you take more and better pictures and rack up points, you unlock new areas and equipment, but you can't complete the game just by being a good photographer. Sometimes you have to pelt the Pokemon with fruit and balls. Sometimes you have to lure a Pokemon out of hiding by throwing fruit in the right spots. And sometimes you have to hit a Squirtle at just the right angle to knock a Mankey off a mountain, and then when you see that Mankey, bonk him on the noggin to make him fall over onto a button that opens a gate to a secret lab. And of course, all of this is done with the Nintendo 64 controller's analog stick. You'd have better accuracy swinging around a Wiimote with a blindfold on. But that's actually one of the things that make this game good. Not the analog stick thing, the convoluted way of getting certain pictures thing. There are so many different interactions you can have with the different Pokemon by tossing those apples and pester balls around. Besides the Pokemon, there are Pokemon signs, which are like monuments or natural formations in the shape of Pokemon. Snap a picture of each of these 6 monuments and you unlock the secret final area. The only purpose of this area is to take a picture of Mew. The stage does kind of take a bit of a turn, having you shoot balls to break Mew's barrier before you can get a picture of it. Despite Snap's surprising popularity, they never made a sequel of it, even though the 3DS and the Wii U would have been perfect for this kind of game. The only other time that I know of that they've done something like this was the camera mechanic in Sun and Moon. And just so you know that this was truly a product of the 90s, you could take your cartridge to Blockbuster and print out the photos you took in the game onto stickers. Of course, I never got to do this because I lived in the middle of buttfuck nowhere and didn't even see a Blockbuster until like 2003. But moving on, the next game is also for the N64. Hey You Pikachu is a simulator? I guess. I don't know how else to describe it. You just hang out and do activities with Pikachu. I was still very much into Pokemon when this game came out, but even then it didn't really interest me. The yellow and blue Pikachu N64 certainly did, and I'll have one as soon as my sister finds hers. And that's literally my only memory of this game. My sister had it, I saw her play it once, and that was enough for me. I recently got a copy along with the thing that connects the microphone and a bundle of games, so I decided to try it out. Now I've always heard nothing but bad things about this game, but I don't think it's that terrible. If I was like 5 when this came out, I would have been all over it. You get to talk to Pikachu and he actually understands you, most of the time. Hey, get that carrot. Okay. He did it! He went for the carrot! That's amazing! It's kind of pretty impressive. This game came out in Japan in 1998. Do you know what phones looked like in 1998? This. You could call people on them and maybe play Snake. I'm just saying, the voice recognition's pretty impressive. I mean, what else do we have to compare it to? The laser scope? You could just yell anything into that and it still barely worked. I know I went way off topic there, but I don't have a lot to say about Hey You Pikachu. And I was going to make an entire video about this. It would have only been
1 fucking minute?
long. So what else is there? Pokemon Pinball? That was fun. It had a built-in Rumble Pack. The trading card game contains one of my favorite pieces of video game music, which you're hearing right now, and I'd like to talk about it someday, but not today. I already made that horrible Puzzle League review. I could talk about Stadium. Man, I love Stadium. Stadium was so good. Stadium was what I wish Snap was when it came out. 8 months after the release of Pokemon Snap, we'd actually be able to use our Pokemon in 3D. Setting the team you trained all the way through Red and Blue into an N64 game to battle with friends on a big screen was just an amazing feeling. But I don't want to get too deep into it. Something like the Stadium games deserves its own video. There are a bunch of, I don't want to say great or even really good, but there's a bunch of Pokemon spinoffs and I haven't even played most of them. Once the GameCube came out, really the only Pokemon games that I played were the mainline RPGs. Like I said, I really enjoyed the 2 Stadium games, the trading card game, and pinball, but what did I miss after that? Pokemon Dash looks like a boring racing game that makes you scratch the shit out of your DS screen. Pokemon Troze is a Tetris, Panel de Pon, Yoshi Cookie, Candy Crush style puzzle game. Enough of these casual games, give me something with some depth. That'll work. Pokemon Conquest is a mashup of Pokemon and Nobunaga's Ambition. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, Nobunaga's Ambition is a strategy game series dating back to the early 80s, and it's based on Oda Nobunaga. You know, that guy. He's basically the antagonist in every video game and anime set in feudal Japan. So Pokemon Conquest takes a bit of a lighter approach to the strategy RPG gameplay, making it a bit more accessible for the general audience. You start off with an Eevee and make your way through the story, defeating warlords, catching Pokemon, and increasing the strength of yourself and your team. I was really excited for this game because I enjoy games like Final Fantasy Tactics, but I didn't really play it that much. I should try getting back into it. It's a pretty weird combination of 2 very different games, but it actually kind of works. There are also the Pokemon Ranger and Mystery Dungeon games, but I don't really know anything about them. I think Ranger has you circling Pokemon with the DS stylus. The Ranger series only has 3 games, all on the DS, but there is a remake of the first Pokemon Mystery Dungeon coming out very soon. The original release was similar to the mainline games with 2 versions, one for the Game Boy Advance and one for the DS, and the box art is actually really cool. If you put them together, it makes one whole image with a DS game on top and the GBA game on the bottom, just like the original DS. Neat. Now, I always call these games dungeon crawlers, but I guess they're actually called roguelikes. The only ones I've ever really played were Dark Cloud and Shiren the Wanderer. Anyway, the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon remake has a demo on the Switch, so I guess I'll check that out. Alright, first it's going to ask me some questions to determine which character I am, right? That's a lot more in-depth than Professor Oak's Are You a Boy or a Girl? Alright, let's see. Your friends ditch you, what do you do? I'd be a bit irritated. Am I cheerful? I'd say so. It's a pleasant day at the beach. How do I feel? I want to go home. These videos aren't going to make themselves. Do others tell you to watch what you say? Sometimes, yeah. I appear to be the sassy type? Ha! Called it. Aw, thanks demo of a video game I'm probably not going to buy. Occasionally say something arrogant that angers others? Well, there was that one time a guy wanted to fight me because I told him all the bands he liked sound like Nickelback. True story. Have people called me conceited, vain, or selfish? What is this, a therapy session? Exasperating yet appealing. Sure. Personally, I would have preferred Psyduck, but I can live with Trico. From what I gathered in this demo, you wake up and you're suddenly a Pokemon. Whoever you picked as your partner finds you and you both start a rescue team. You explore dungeons with the goal of helping other Pokemon who are trapped in said dungeons. And there's this little town where you can buy items, build your attacks, and oh, hey, there's Animal Crossing. And it plays mostly like an old roguelike with Pokemon. You get 4 moves, berries can heal you, and there's a hunger meter. The demo stops after a couple missions, so that's all I know about it so far. Like I said, I'll probably be skipping this game, but I do have a copy of Blue Rescue Team, so maybe I'll check that out. Actually, I have the Pokemon Ranger games too. I probably should have played them all before making this video. Hey everyone, I hope you enjoyed this video. 24 years of Pokemon, and I can still remember first reading about it in Nintendo Power and being completely obsessed for the next few years. I'll try to do something bigger for the 25th anniversary, but that's all for now. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave me a comment, follow me on all social media at CrashLove Gaming. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Shiren the Wanderer. Wanderer.